It was a morning like any other. A farmer walked to his field. His tools rested on his shoulder. Children ran down a dirt road, their laughter loud and clear. In a small house, a woman kneaded dough for the day's bread. The sun was a warm weight on the land. Dogs slept in its golden light, dreaming of small things. Life was a steady, familiar rhythm. It was a day that promised to be like the one before it. The world felt solid and sure underfoot. Then the sun looked wrong. It lost its fire. It lost its warm, generous color. It hung in the sky like a pale, distant moon. The light that reached the ground felt thin and weak. It did not warm the skin. People stopped what they were doing. They shielded their eyes with their hands. They squinted upward. They looked at the strange, sick sky. The air, once sweet with morning dew, now carried a faint taste of dust. The air, once sweet with morning dew, now carried a faint taste of metal. It was a taste no one could name. At first, no one spoke of doom. They did not have the words for such a thing. They thought it was a strange turn of weather, perhaps a passing fog, perhaps a peculiar mist from the sea. Merchants began to fold their bright awnings. Their faces turned to the sky. Farmers slowly closed their barn doors, their eyes full of questions. Mothers called their children home from their games, drawing them close with a sudden, sharp need. The world held its breath, waiting for the familiar sun to return. But the light did not return. The days passed in a strange, unending twilight. The sky refused to clear, staying a dim, hazy gray. A fine, pale dust began to fall, like a slow and silent rain that never stopped. It landed on faces. It landed on hair. It landed on shoulders. It landed on hands. It settled like a shroud over rooftops. It settled like a shroud over fields, turning the green world to gray. It found its way through every small crack in the walls, a soft, persistent invader in every home. The dust was a constant reminder of the sky's strange sickness. The first real cold came without warning. It was not the crisp cold of a clear winter night. It was a damp, seeping chill that gnawed at the bone. People wrapped themselves in every piece of cloth they owned. They kept their fires burning all day and all night. They fed them precious wood. Smoke filled their small rooms. It stung their eyes. It caught in their throats. But the fire gave little comfort. It did not warm the way it used to. Hands held to the flames remained numb. Bread burned in ovens that would not heat through. Soup tasted of smoke and fear. The crops failed first. Green shoots withered and died. Fruit tree leaves shriveled and turned black. Unripe apples fell like wet, heavy stones. Unripe pears fell like wet, heavy stones. Fields faded from vibrant green to hard brown. Seeds planted in hope did not sprout. The animals felt it too. They grew thin and weak. Chickens stopped laying eggs. Cows gave less milk. Then none at all. People learned a new kind of hunger. A slow, sharp ache lived inside them always. But the hunger was not the worst. The worst was the thin, cold light that stole faces. In the dimness, people could not see each other clearly. Neighbors passed like gray ghosts. Familiar expressions were lost in the gloom. Children looked for the shape of a hand, not a smile. Old men listened for a footstep that might not come. Their eyes could not see who approached. The world was a place of shadows. No one knew why. No one had a map for this strange, dark country. Priests prayed in quiet, cold churches. Their words were swallowed by silence. Wise men argued in loud halls and only shook their heads. Some called it punishment from the gods. Some whispered the end of days. Many said nothing. This absence of answers weighed heavier than any ash. Fear grew in the quiet spaces between people. Neighbors bolted their doors, and friends vanished from the breadline. The old ways of life broke down. The market, once joyful, fell quiet, its colors muted by the gray light. Commerce became a desperate, hushed exchange, not for price, but for one more day. A little warmth, a little light against the great, silent unknown. But even as the world grew colder, there were moments of warmth. Small acts, like sparks in the overwhelming dark. A shared loaf of bread, a mended coat, a hand on a shoulder. These kindnesses became a new currency. In the shared darkness, humanity was all they had left, a quiet rebellion against the despair that fell from the sky. Life changed into quiet, endless work. Grand plans were forgotten, replaced by the small, necessary tasks of the day, mending roofs and covering wells to keep the ash out. Many chose to leave, walking toward the rumor of a river that still ran clear. Others stayed, sealing their homes against the gray. Inside, they learned to live by simple rules. Save a handful of grain, hold the small ones close. Years moved on. The sky lightened, but the sun never returned to the brilliant way it had been. The light was softer now, the summers less fierce. Where great forests had stood, new kinds of bushes and hardy trees sprouted. People adapted, teaching the young to plant seeds that grew in colder soil and build stronger cellars. They had learned to live not by the light from above, but by the simple, steady act of human care. And in that, they found their way forward.